Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 3 in a best of 3 series between ATN Socke and Mouse Hasu, this time on Lost Temple. And since I have already seen these games and I'm recasting them due to technical issues, I can tell you that this game is not a 4-gate rush. So yes, I was quite surprised when it wasn't a 4-gate rush. It is a lot of gateway units, but I'll go ahead and let this game unfold for you. Mouse Hasu spawning at the 6 o'clock location as the yellow Protoss player. Meanwhile, Socke spawning as the red Protoss player here at the 9 o'clock position. It is a relatively short flying distance between these two bases, but it would be very interesting to even see Void Rays just because Void Rays aren't used very often in Protoss versus Protoss mirror matches. Stalkers have become the bread and butter unit in Protoss versus Protoss, and 3 to 4 Stalkers can easily shut down one Void Ray, especially as those Stalkers move faster than Void Rays. Even though Void Rays do deal more damage than Stalkers, those Stalkers are able to move away faster and also give chase better. So one of the reasons why Void Rays are not used very often. I have seen 2-gate or a 1-gate into a Robo Bay or 2-gate into a Robo Bay as Immortals are very, very effective against Stalkers. The problem with that though is that Immortals take a very, very long time to build, 55 seconds to build for an Immortal, making Stalkers the much better option, especially when you have that Warp Gate research able to essentially build one Stalker every 32 seconds. We can see that a Xel'Naga Watchtower was quickly activated, and then Socke, realizing that he did not, in fact, spawn over here, decided to go over here, and some German, I do not know how to read what that exactly says. I see off gate, and so I'm not 100% sure what they're talking about. Perhaps they're talking about the strategy that they will both be deploying. So Probe now making its way back over here, taking a look into the bases, gonna throw up the production tab now, and you can see how similar both of these builds are. Hasu getting that Cybernetics core, and that Cybernetics core is actually much earlier now than compared to Socke's Cybernetics core. It's about a 15-second lead, so if he does try to do a 4-gate, he would have had his units out a little bit more quickly. The Stalker is not yet being trained, so has to wait for that Warp Gate research to complete, and then he should be training up that Warp Gate and perhaps getting the Stalker out. The Stalker is not being chrono boosted as the Probe is still wandering on the inside. We do see that a second assimilator is now being placed down by Socke, so Socke going for a second assimilator, and now we can see Hasu also going for a second assimilator. And when you see a second assimilator in a Protoss versus Protoss mirror match, it most likely means that it's going to be higher tech, and the two options are either going to be the robotics facility or Stalker Blink. So this is most likely going to be Blink Stalkers in just a moment, as a pylon being warped in over here, and Stalkers will be warping in along this edge. You can see that there are three probes in that assimilator already. Hasu also getting 3 probes as well. He is chrono boosting this Cybernetics core, but he doesn't have the additional gateways just quite yet. So it would probably be better if he continued to chrono boost his Nexus in order to get more probes and get a stronger economy going. You can see 2 additional gateways now coming online. And when you see 3 gateways like this, it most likely means it will be Stalker Blink. You can take a look back over here. There's another gateway, so it is going to be 3-gate Stalker Blink in just a second. Zealots now wandering around on the inside, making sure that there are no proxy pylons in the base, and if there are, to deal with them accordingly. There is that Twilight Council coming in from Hasu. Also, the Twilight Council coming in. Where is that Twilight Council? I know there is a Twilight Council for Socke. Is it this one? Is it this one? No, there's that Twilight Council. So he went 2 gates into a Twilight Council and then got a gateway. So that Twilight Council a little bit earlier, and we'll be able to start researching that Stalker Blink a little bit earlier as well. Stalker's waiting over here, perhaps waiting for a Warp Prism that won't be coming in. No Warp Prism will be coming in, but it's important to make sure that if your opponent does try to use a Warp Prism to try to warp in units inside your base, that you are properly prepared for it. Stalker Blink now being researched, 31 seconds versus, I believe, 18. Yeah, only a difference of about 12 seconds or so. Socke chrono boosting it, same thing as Hasu, and both sides will be able to get a lot of Stalkers out in just a second. Taking a look at the Harvester count, 26 Harvesters versus 26. Both sides still training up more probes, I believe. Yeah, both sides still training up more probes, trying to get a very, very strong economy going. And the Stalker Blink War is going to just be determined purely by micro. taking a look at the army tab, Socke is slightly larger right now, sitting at 775 compared to 625. As stalkers are now being warped in, some stalkers also being warped in over here, quickly activating that Xel'Naga watchtower, and now Socke has a slightly larger army, and stalker blink has been completed, so those stalkers will be able to blink down, but now blinking down, and it is on cooldown, and that is very, very bad position as Socke losing one of his stalkers, and now may lose even more of those stalkers. Once again, another stalker now getting taken down, and now Socke blinking straight into the battle, not realizing, and now another low hit point stalker able to blink away. Very, very beautiful stalker blinks coming in from Hasu. Hasu so far has only lost one stalker, I believe, and now down goes another. So very, very nicely done. Taking a look at the units lost tab, 1,300 resources versus 175. So this is very, very bad news indeed for Socke. Socke losing about 8 times more in terms of his army. Stalker's now going to try to walk up here, getting some damage. Now, perhaps they're going to blink away, try to kite those stalkers back. Stalker's deciding to walk back away from that ramp. Taking a look at the army once again, 750 versus 1125. Probes coming off the mineral line, and probes are getting picked apart. Once again, another stalker blink, very nicely done, but blinking straight into that army, trying to pick apart those lower hit point stalkers. More damage is being dealt, but the Hasu just simply has too many stalkers at this point in the game, and Socke trying to retreat, trying to do something about this, but Hasu just blinking away with those lower hit point stalkers. Now stalkers would be able to blink up from this low ground area as well. More stalkers coming in, and there's the GG from Socke. So Socke losing out in this 3-gate stalker blink and mirror match here on Lost Temple. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed these 3 rather short games and Protoss versus Protoss mirror match between Hasu and Socke.